What happens if your baby's umbilical cord is wrapped around its neck during labor and delivery? Want to know what I'm getting at here? Stay with me as I share with you this very important information. Hello, I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm a childbirth injury and medical malpractice attorney practicing law in the state of Maryland. And I'd like to quickly talk with you today about that question. And that question centers around what can happen if your baby's umbilical cord is wrapped around the child's neck during labor and delivery. Now, thankfully, in many instances when this occurs, nothing happens. The baby is delivered and there are no problems. But in some cases, if the umbilical cord is wrapped around the baby's neck, which is medically, we call that Nuchal cord, if it's wrapped around the child's neck and it is wrapped in a tight manner, then we can have problems. And the reason this is the case is because if the umbilical cord is wrapped to the point to where it restricts blood flow, it restricts blood and oxygen getting to the baby, then we can have problems. Now, in some cases, through the use of ultrasound and during, the labor and delivery process, doctors might be able to determine if there is a nuchal cord or if the cord is wrapped around the baby's neck. And in those instances, the doctor may be able to slip the cord over the baby's head, and things can work out fine in that instance. But if there are times in which the cord is too tight, then that restriction of the umbilical cord can prevent blood and oxygen getting to the baby. And if we have a reduced level of blood and oxygen getting to the baby, now we've got problems, because in some cases the child can suffer a brain injury. You may see, or the doctors may talk with you about a condition called HIE, or hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy, and that essentially means that there was a reduced level of blood and oxygen getting to your baby, which caused a brain injury. Now, during labor and delivery, doctors are using this tool, and nurses, called the electronic fetal heart monitor. And that electronic fetal heart monitor is allowing them to be able to determine how well your baby is tolerating that vaginal delivery. And if it comes to the point in which the strips or the readings from the electronic fetal heart monitor are revealing that your baby is no longer tolerating that vaginal delivery, then doctors have to move to help the baby out. In some instances, they may have to go to an emergency C-section, because if they do not, then, and the baby's fetal reserves are all worn out, then you can have, again, that reduced level of blood and oxygen, which can lead to a brain injury. So the purpose of today's video is to just kind of talk with you about that. If the umbilical cord is wrapped around your baby's neck, like I said, in some instances, it will be okay. Sometimes, like I said, the doctors they can go ahead and they can lift the cord up over the baby. But in other instances, it may not. It may cause issues in regards to perfusion. It may lead to issues of a reduced level of blood and oxygen, which can then lead to a brain injury. So why have I taken the time today to talk with you about this really important information? Because more than likely, if you are watching this video today, you've got these questions. Maybe you're here because your child, it was determined, or you learned that when your baby was born, the umbilical cord was tightly wrapped around your baby's wrapped around your baby's head, and there may have been an issue with a reduced level of blood and oxygen due to a compression of the umbilical cord. And now you have questions. You're worried about how is your baby going to deal with a lot of these future challenges which may lie ahead. If you would like to speak with me further about what's going on, this is what I invite you to do. And remember, taking this next action, it costs you absolutely nothing. And what is that action? To pick up the phone and give me a call. I can be reached at 301-850-4832, or if you prefer, you can reach me toll free at 1-833-4BABY-HELP. You can reach me by email also at medicalinjury@bostonlawllc.com. I answer birth trauma and medical malpractice questions just like yours all the time, and I will be happy to take some time and listen to your story. All right, that's going to be it for today's quick educational video. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm one of the childbirth injury and medical malpractice attorneys practicing law at Boston Law Group, LLC. And we will see you next time. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.